Hello, my friend. Welcome to the office. You know, in 2 Kings chapter 5, we read about a man by the name of Naaman. Naaman is the captain of the army of Syria. He's a significant man. He's a man who speaks directly to the king, and he's the lead man of the military. But the one thing we learn about Naaman in this chapter is he's also a leper. And he hears word that there's a prophet in Israel who could cure him of his leprosy. And so he gets a letter from the king, and the king sends him to the king of Israel and requests to be healed of his leprosy. And of course, the king of Israel can't do that, and he gets quite concerned. But Elisha, the prophet, hears of this, and he says, well, send Naaman to me, so that he knows that there's a prophet of God in Israel. So Naaman is sent to the prophet Elisha. And of course, Elisha, when Naaman comes to him, Elisha doesn't go out to greet him or meet him, but Elisha just sends him a word from a messenger. And the word to Naaman the leper is go down to the Jordan River and submerge yourself, wash yourself 7 times over, and you'll be cured. Now Naaman, again, the commander of Syria's army and a significant man of renown, doesn't even see the prophet. He just simply receives the word to go wash himself, and he gets disturbed, and he gets quite angry, and he's like, aren't there, better and cleaner rivers back in Syria that I could wash myself in? And he's angry, and he leaves in disgust. Well, fortunately for Naaman, one of his servants goes to him and says, this is an easy request. This is pretty simple. Why don't you just do it? And so Naaman does. He goes down to the Jordan River, and he submerges himself. He washes himself 7 times over, and lo and behold, he is healed. His skin becomes like the skin of a child. I mean, just completely healed of his leprosy. And so he's just grateful. And he's one of those interesting foreigners, a person outside the promises of God, a person outside of the covenants of God, who believes that Israel's God is God in heaven above and earth beneath, and he converts. He trusts in the God of Israel. Fascinating story, and there's a lot that we can learn from it. But one of the things I found interesting as I was coming across that in my reading this morning is that quite often we think we need to do something great for God in order to do something significant or renowned. If we're going to do something for God, we need to go start an orphanage in Africa, or become a missionary to Indonesia, or do something significant. Well, sometimes God would just have us do common, ordinary things in ways that we become obedient to Him. Like loving our spouse, and reading our Bible and praying with our children, and doing good to our neighbor, and being a great employee, and just serving the Lord in ordinary ways of obedience right where He has us. That's remarkable. Well, I'd encourage you to go read that. 2 Kings chapter 5. It's interesting, an interesting history and an interesting story, and there's so much that we learn from it. But I would just encourage that, ordinary, everyday, common obedience is not only good for us, but it glorifies the Lord, in that we just obey Him regularly, and we get into patterns and habits of doing that. So I was encouraged by Naaman's testimony this morning, and trust that you've been encouraged by it. But I'll keep circling back to give you encouraging words. But God bless you. Trust you have a great day.